Well, good morning, my friend. It is October the 31st, last day of October. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. As we end out the month, begin the week, all in the same day. Had a great day yesterday in church. Auditorium was packed yesterday morning, and another full attendance last night. And just God blessed in a wonderful way. Several souls saved, people baptized, lives changed, altars packed. And just a wonderful day. And despite some sickness that we had in the area, and it was always good to see the auditorium packed out. Looking forward to another week. We're getting ready, though, for our 60th anniversary celebration coming up November the 13th. Hey, if you're a church member, former church member of Maranatha Baptist Church, we invite you to come on Sunday morning, 9:45. We're going to have the largest cake you've ever seen, a 6-foot by 6-foot cake. And going to celebrate the anniversary. Going to have a lot of things going on. Some things we're giving out. And I'm just anxious for this day. What a great day this is going to be for what all God has done for our church over the past 60 years. And we're looking forward. This is just the beginning of what God can do through our church. So I invite you to come and be a part of this great day. Well, today I want to talk to you about the phrase becometh unfruitful. In Matthew chapter 13, verse 22, you read, he also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. Now, if I were to ask you what is the greatest battle that believers fight, I would imagine I would have several answers. Some would think that not losing their children and family is the greatest battle. Some would say that fighting sin is the greatest battle. That the answer to this question, that is the greatest battle that you will fight as a Christian in the Christian walk, is to stay focused on being fruitful for Christ. In the verse I just read to you, Jesus said that the scattered seed becometh unfruitful. In other words, the seed was fruitful at one time, but it became unfruitful. At one time, the seed saw people saved and brought them to church, but it became unfruitful. In other words, this seed was a producer at one time, but it stopped producing. Now, the seed was not bad seed. It just became unfruitful. To understand this passage, what does becometh mean? Becometh means to gradually pass from one state to another. In other words, the seed didn't become unfruitful immediately. It slowly became unfruitful. The seed once reached souls for Christ weekly, but then it slowly diminished from every week to every other week to once a month, to the point that it never reached one soul for Jesus Christ. Now, no believer or church suddenly loses the fire for Christ. Every believer or church loses their fire to reach the lost slowly. They become unfruitful, or they becometh unfruitful. Many churches once used to be a lighthouse for the lost, but they became unfruitful. Many believers who are aggressive soul winners no longer reach anyone for Christ because they becometh unfruitful. They did not suddenly stop reaching the lost. They slowly stopped reaching the lost. Now, Satan is not out to get you to stop reaching the lost immediately. I want you to get that statement. He just gets you to slowly stop reaching the lost until you stop reaching the lost altogether. Satan knows that if he can get you to gradually lose focus on reaching the lost, that he will eventually get you to stop reaching the lost. Now, how do we become unfruitful? That's the question. We become unfruitful by becoming concerned with the wrong things. We become more concerned with the cares of this world than reaching the lost. Many churches have lost their fire for soul winning because they became involved in so-called good things, but those good things pulled them away from reaching the lost. Many churches, believers, and pastors have become more concerned with politics, current world events, entertainment, fun, than they are with reaching the lost, and they become unfruitful. Others became unfruitful because they became more enamored with riches than reaching the lost for Christ. Many pastors have become more concerned with bringing in money into the church for a good cause than they are with the souls of mankind being saved. And they slowly became unfruitful. Many believers became unfruitful because of a good desire to become rich so that they could so-called help finance the church. Now, let me ask you, are you as fervent about reaching the lost as you have ever been? Always remember that any other focus other than reaching the lost will cause you to become unfruitful, not immediately, but gradually. You see, it's that slow, gradual unfruitfulness that it never bothers you anymore. There are people who are watching this podcast right now that it doesn't even bother you that you haven't seen someone saved in the past few weeks. It doesn't bother you that you haven't got someone to come to church. It doesn't bother you. My friend, when it doesn't bother you, when you just get to that point that it doesn't faze you anymore about going soul winning, you don't care that people aren't being saved, you better watch out. You've becometh unfruitful, and my friend, you're on your way to a gradual spiritual death. No, you don't lose your salvation, but you get to the point that God's blessings no longer fall on you, and then you start blaming God, and you start blaming the church to the point that you drop out of church. Those who dropped out of church didn't drop out suddenly. They becometh unfruitful. That unfruitfulness caused them to start pointing fingers at the church, at the preacher, at God. They quit. Their lives are wrecked. Their children never get, their children go to the world. Their grandchildren never get saved. Watch yourself, my friend. Don't become unfruitful. Let's stay fruitful in the work of the Lord. Well, I hope this is a help and an encouragement to you today. Now, let's remember today, let's be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.